Welcome to Slow Pour Whiskey. My name's Trent. Today, we're going to be talking about the 13th edition of the Kilchoman 100% Islay. Hey, thanks for joining me tonight. We're going to be talking about, obviously, the 13th edition of the Kilchoman 100% Islay. This is an incredible dram. This bottle is delicious. Dare I say it's my favorite of the Kilchomans. That might ruffle some feathers. Get your feathers unruffled, because I'm not concerned with how you feel about my opinions. There is no real right or wrong when it comes to scotch. What you enjoy, you enjoy. You may enjoy an ex-bourbon cask matured scotch like this one. You may also not like that. You might want sherry or some other bottles. But I love this. So I think Kilchoman is pretty well known for their Loch Gorm, which is their sherried version of this, and it is heavily peated. It's heavily peated and sherried, and it is very good. I have a bottle of it back in this cabinet back here, and it's very good. They're also very well known for the Seneg, which I personally, so far, I have a bottle again back in that cabinet back there. I could display them all for you, but we're not really talking about the others tonight. We're talking about this one. But the Seneg, I am still unsure of. A lot of people really like it, so I'm assuming that means I'm wrong, but it just doesn't feel, I don't know, there's just something I'm not, it's not resonating with me yet, but I'm keeping it. I'm not going to get rid of it. It's still really good whiskey. It's just not my favorite, and I'm not sure why when everyone really raves about it. But I do have the Mackie's Bay, which is, I think, the vast majority ex-bourbon and a little bit of sherry. And I really like that one too. So I feel like this leans heavier into the ex-bourbon, and this is actually less peated than a lot of their other expressions. That's why I really like it. Everything happens on Islay here. This is fully created on Islay, and it is delicious, and it really lets Islay shine. So let's go ahead and get this on the nose, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it as we keep going. So actually, I'll show you the color here, if I can get it to focus on. I should do this hand for lighting's sake, I think. But yeah, it's very light. Like there's definitely no caramel color added. So this is a 50% alcohol by volume expression. It is unchill filtered, and there is no color added. And it does not have an age statement, but it seems to be around 8 years old is the minimum stock that's in here. There's probably some 10-year-old or a little bit older, I would guess, in here. It definitely is a well-constructed, and there is a little bit of youth in it, but it's not sharp like you might expect an 8-year-old to be. It's actually very well integrated and pulled together. Let's get this on the nose. This is not heavily peated. This is, I believe, the least peated of all the Kilchomans, and you can tell the malt and the freshness of it is very apparent up front. There is not a huge amount of smoke. There's just a little bit. It's like a little bit in the air in the distance. It definitely has a mineralness to it. Not quite the same as like an Ardbeg. It's a little bit different, but there's a mineral there. It's definitely malty and sugary and barley. Brine and sea salt in the air. Some maybe a little bit of pineapple, a little bit of grilled pineapple maybe with that smoke. There's a mint, there's like a spearmint, and maybe a dash of peppermint in here too. Maybe a little bit of cinnamon in there. Let's get this on the nose, then we're gonna add some water. So this is straight at 50%, just a touch on the tongue to get a first impression. Right off the bat, I'm hit with smoke and peat and slate and an ashiness. There's a very prominent ashy note in all Kilchoman that comes from the peat. And though this isn't heavily peated, this has that ashy note. Whiskey does this weird thing where things can taste like something that normally taste or smell like something that normally isn't pleasurable, but it is pleasurable when it's in whiskey, and that's kind of a weird thing. So like you wouldn't probably enjoy the taste of ash if it was actual ash on your tongue, but this can taste like ash but in a good way. It's kind of strange, this liquid is. And there's an herbal, a little bit of an herbalness to it. There's some fresh sea air and brine. So what I really like about Kilchoman is so far I have purchased, I don't know, the Loch Gorm was the first one I purchased. Then I bought the Mackir Bay. No, then I bought this because I was like, let's try the opposite. Let's go from 100% sherry to 100% ex-bourbon Islay. And so I got like the two extremes, full sherry, full ex-bourbon casks. And if you don't know much about casks in whiskey, basically there are different kinds of casks, wood, that you can put the new make spirit in, and over time it sits in the wood, and the flavors of the wood and the barrel start to integrate with the whiskey, and that's what gets you different flavors. And so not with the whiskey, with the new make spirit, which creates whiskey that has different flavors. There's sherry casks and American oak ex-bourbon casks. There's French sherry cask. There's American oak sherry casks. And then there's all kinds of different sherry casks, PX and Oloroso. And there you can use wine casks, like STR casks, and you can use port casks, and they all import different kinds of flavors. And there's all kinds of experimentation going on with wood and different, creating different types of barrels to age whiskey in all over the world. And it's really fun. It's cool. And you get to experience different sides of the same spirit by what type of wood barrel, what type of cask you put your new make spirit in. And so this was a really good way for me to see like the extremes of what Kilchoman can be by looking at the Loch Gorm. I'm not ever going to be able to say this right. The Loch Gorm. By looking at the Loch Gorm and then seeing what all that sherry influence does, and then getting to see the ex-bourbon where it's a little bit more fruity. It's just a cool experiment there. And so I've had these two, and then I have the Seneg, which again, like I said earlier, I'm not connecting with quite yet, but I suspect over time, sitting in the bottle and having a little bit more oxidization will help, like letting it breathe a bit may help let some of the goodness out of that. And also our palates change over time. So over time, I might get to a place where I now like the Seneg. Maybe it hasn't changed. I've changed. Both of those things can happen. And then the Mackir Bay. And so I have a good variety of these. I actually just saw at the store today a new one from Kilchoman that had 3 woods. So it was a sherry, an ex-bourbon, and another type of wood. It was a 3, and it's like a US version. I don't know anything about this yet. If I just looked at it on the shelf, I need to look it up. If you know anything about that bottle, leave a comment, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. Let me know about that bottle if you've seen it or if you've had it. I was really interested in it. It was this really cool orange color, and it really caught my attention. And I feel like their labels and their design is very simple, and they're not spending lots of money on their packaging, but they make it look nice. They're really putting their money into the liquid, you can tell. So let's get another Oh, actually, I was going to add water. So let's add some water here really quick. It's going to do like, it's 50%. It's not cask strength or anything, but so I don't want to go too much, but I definitely want to give it a good little bit. Just to let it get some water in there and let it open up a little bit. Swirl that around in the glass like that. That opens up a little bit. There's a little bit more farminess and earthiness in there now. The grass, just smells like a campfire farm by the coast. There's definitely some coastal going on here. It's briny and salty. Water starts to like open up, make it a little bit more effervescent. So yeah, I'm basically willing to try most of what Kilchoman puts out. I'm willing to try any of it. I'm likely to buy most of it because every bottle I keep buying from them is truly great. It's like very delicious, very unique, not flat, not like syrupy, like some of it's effervescent, some of it like this is kind of effervescent and sparkly, and then other ones are deep and dark and brooding, and but they're all presented in a way that allows their hard work to show off, unlike a chill filtered 40% alcohol whiskey that has lots of possibility but has been kind of dumbed down to make it palatable for people that don't really care about whiskey, like whiskey, like whatever we are, the whiskey curious, whiskey enthusiasts. They are going after us. They want to present their work, their hard work really well, and I think they do that exceptionally. So let's go for another taste on the 13th edition of the Kilchoman 100% Islay. There's some caramel in there for sure. Caramel, buttery sugar. Barley sugar. It's not like confectioner's sugar. It's not cotton candy. But there's this deep sugar going on. It's briny and savory and salty and a little bit sour, and it coats the mouth, and there's some like that tannin on the sides of the tongue, just a little bit. There's a little bit of black pepper towards the end. But like a gentle pepper, actually, kind of a cinnamony, sizzly cinnamon a little bit on the back. This is delightful scotch. It really shows off what whiskey from Islay is like when you're not leaning on the peat. I love peat. I love it. I've got again, whiskey back in there. Compass box, peat monster. Like, I love peat monsters. I like scotches, Lafroig and Ardbeg and Kalila, and like I love heavily peated whiskeys, the Port Charlotte 10-year-old. But this shows another side of Islay, that what is created, the hard work that is put in on that island doesn't have to be covered up by peat. This is peated, but it's lightly peated, especially compared to their other options. Definitely lightly peated compared to a Lafroig or an Ardbeg even. And so it really lets the island and the hard work of the people at Kilchoman shine. It's effervescent and fruity. There's that pineapple in there too. Let's get another taste now that we've added that water again, and just see what we get out of it this time. It's like fruity, smoky fruit. It's farmy and earthy and fruity and sweet and sour and savory. And there's some umami in here. It just coats your mouth, and it's grilled pineapple and juicy orchard with a little bit of like tropical in there too. I guess it probably is leaning more into tropical, though, like mango a little bit and pineapple. And this is a delicious whiskey. I think it was probably around $100 in Chicago. Very worthwhile. It is different. It's different than other Kilchomans. So you want to be intentional about that. If you like super heavily peated, you may still like this, but it's not a peat monster. You shouldn't expect that. If you like really cask forward sherry bomb, but like ex bourbon cask bomb, this is showing the distillate, but it's merging and meshing and coming together and marrying the cask and the sea air and the farminess. Like, this is a farm distillery. They grow the stuff that they used here. It's from farms on Islay. It's all components from Islay really letting the terroir shine in this bottle. I strongly encourage you to give it a shot. I think basically everything from Kilchoman is fantastic. In upcoming reviews, I'll review the other ones. Maybe we can do like a side-by-side. If you'd be interested in seeing me compare a couple of Kilchomans, or if there's really any kind of comparisons that you have in mind, I would love to try comparing some whiskeys depending on what you're interested in hearing about. So leave a comment down below. Let me know what you would like to hear about. If there's anything about whiskey in general you'd like to learn, anything you're unsure about, any questions, please leave a comment. Like this video, please share the video with people that would appreciate it. Subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. We'll do one last taste on the finish, and then we'll get this video, get on our way. Cheers. Let's get grilled pineapple and sweet sea and campfire. It's campfire smoke. It's like down the middle campfire smoke, leaning a tiny bit towards meaty, but it's definitely not iodine band-aids. It's probably pretty center campfire. Maybe a touch towards the grilled pineapple thing going on. This is a delight. This is a delight of a whiskey. I would like to give this I'd like to give this a 90 out of 100. I think this is phenomenal stuff. I think for the price, you will not be disappointed. It is not a cheap whiskey, but you will not be disappointed. You will be happy with this. I can't speak to the other editions. This is the 13th edition. This is the only one I've ever had, actually, the only edition. But I love it, so give it a shot. Thank you for watching the video. Again, like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, and thank you for watching, and we'll be back again soon with another review. Thanks.